Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So we're picking back up not too long after last episode. I decided I'd go ahead and focus down a little bit of Twilight Forest, and then I can build after that, and I'll have access to the blocks and stuff. I don't think there's anything that I currently need from the Ice Queen's Palace or the castle for any current builds, but future builds, yes. And we will be using some of that. Now, my magic map, I brought it back in here, and I don't think it's bugged. I think there's some other position. I don't know, though, because right there is the Naga, and that should be... I don't know. I have no clue. It might be bugged, or I might be in the wrong spot for using it. I don't know for sure. But anyways, we're in the snowy area, and the snow is lifted, and we can actually go through here now. And we are looking for a Yeti. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to try to maybe get journeymap unlocked this episode. Maybe so. We'll see. Because we're actually not too far from journeymap at the moment. But I brought the magic map in here because it can be useful for finding like the Yeti caves and the troll layers coming up. But right up there, that's where we're going to be finding the Ice Queen. But first we have to find a Yeti. That comes first and foremost. And right here, this big structure. See, they're not terribly hard to find. They tend to stick out like a sore thumb. It's like this big mound of dirt. But you can see right there, there's like ice that goes down. There's Yetis down there. They're big square people. And that's what a Yeti looks like. And you can see there's a boss spawner back in there. We are fighting on ice, which is always fun. Come here, Yeti. And they will pick you up and like walk around and throw you and all that mess. But these guys are actually really easy to kill though. So we'll go ahead and grab ourselves some Arctic fur. And let me go ahead and start lighting some of this up here. Oh, that's going to be bad though. The light's going to melt the ice and just create a bunch of water. I did repair everything though. I mean, you can see I've already killed some Yetis and I haven't taken any damage whatsoever on the armor. Because really all they do is throw you, and normally that's supposed to like deal damage, but with slime boots, that's not really the case. I'm going to clear out a few of these guys, though. They don't really seem to be aggroing a whole lot. I have noticed today the mob spawns are a bit better. Like they're actually spawning a bit more consistently, which is always good. Oh, they tossed me past the boss. Okay, so there we go, Alfa Yeti. This is the guy right here. And he's actually fairly easy to kill. You do want to stay away from that attack. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into it because I can. I'm not too worried about it. And then after he gets done, he does sit down for a moment, as you can see, and kind of rests after his little tantrum. And there we go. The Alpha Fur advancement. Very, very easy boss. Basically each zone, if you haven't noticed, generally each zone has like a mini boss and then a main boss, you know, like it was Naga and then Lich. Naga being the mini boss. And then in the case of like last episode, for example, the Knights Who Say Knee, and then it was the Ergast. So, but anyways, we did get ourselves some Alpha Yeti fur as well as some ice bombs. And Alpha Yeti fur, we can use it to make the Yeti Armor, which is actually fairly decent armor. It shields attackers and has protection built in by default, but I think it's still weaker than, yeah, the Phantom Plate is still a bit better. Though I will say that the fact that it shields attackers is actually pretty nice. I mean, you can see it's got some innate enchantments, usually some pretty good ones. Mainly protection 2s, and then the boots have feather falling 4. But in addition, that is another item that we need for the journey map token. One of the last things that we really need, and the last thing is the Lamp of Cinders. So let's set off. We do have to kill the Ice Queen before we can get the Lamp of Cinders. So we are going to turn our attention towards her. Not really a terribly hard boss. Especially with our current gear situation. And look, we have penguins. Lots and lots of penguins. I am probably going to end up snagging some of these and taking them back to the overworld. Just a couple of them to name them and stuff. And there tends to be really cute rabbits around here. Penguins, by the way, they drop feathers. That's really all they drop. Now, right here, this is the Ice Queen's Palace. And I actually love these blocks, but I feel like... Okay, they are shimmering. You could see they're actually steadily changing colors. They're slowly changing colors. That's the Aurora Blocks. So, But we need to find... I don't believe there's actually a proper entrance to this place, I want to say. Oh, yeah, there is, right here. Aha. I usually go in the side, or I just fly up to the top where the boss is at. Okay, so let's head on inside. And I'm actually not going to worry about marking this on the atlas because A, it's really, really close to us, and B, we're soon not going to be using the atlas anymore. So... but anyways, we'll head up. I kind of wish they would do some different blocks for the stairs. Like, it's still birch everywhere. And birch, I don't know, it doesn't really match the castle, I don't feel like. But, okay. We can go up right there. That's actually a little platforming room. But we're going to check the side room here. We've got Aurora Pillars. And what do we have up here? A chest with Aurora Blocks, Arctic Fur, an ice sword, and then... some assorted stuff. I'll grab most of it. That's fine. I guess I'll put my magic map up because it's not really proving to be all that useful. Actually, do we want to do the... This just seems to keep going up. And I believe some of these can actually have loot up here. Sometimes the chests are hidden. I want to say those beams can actually have loot in them, though. I want to say. And I hear a mob somewhere. What do we got here? Ironwood, ice sword. Aha, there we go. Go ahead and break into here. And we have snow guardians. And then a stable ice core. So we are getting some mob spawns in here, which is nice. Like I said, I've been noticing more mobs today on the server than like yesterday. I don't know what was up with yesterday. I have no clue. Okay, I don't know. Can we go up here? Yes, and there is a chest up here with more ice bombs. We also have an ender bow, and then these Aurora Pillars, which these also change colors. Oh, whoops, wrong backpack. Those also change colors and cycle through. I love the blocks in here. Like I said, I mean, I don't have any builds at the moment, like where I'm thinking about using Aurora Blocks, but we will. I have some future builds, just none of our present builds that we're working on. Okay, and then we have another platforming room. I'm going to go back because we passed that one platforming room, and I want to go through it. I will say, I don't know if the loot... Honestly, I feel like right now... Let's see, let me check something here. Yeah, see, Phantom Plate, you can only get a chest and a helmet. Actually, looking through here, what we might do is wear the Phantom Plate helm and chest. I don't think there's legs and boots for it. Doesn't look like there is. So we might wear that with, like, fiery stuff, maybe. I was thinking there's boots and leggings, but it kind of makes sense because those knights don't actually have any feet. So, okay, we got some basic stuff. I'll definitely take the enchanted books for sure, because next stage we get access to, I believe, the printing press and the typesetting table, I think. So we'll be able to duplicate enchanted books, which is going to be really, really nice, because we've got plenty of XP built up. Got to be a spawner here. I want to say the spawners, though, in this place, aren't they hidden behind something or something? I don't know. Is there no chests up here? Nope. Okay. Well, we've got 2 rooms to explore. I don't know which one's the right way. We're just going to start heading up. We're just going to start heading up, and we're going to wing it, because this place is like a maze on the inside. Okay, we got another chest here with... I'll definitely take the Aurora Blocks. It saves me having to farm them later. Or I'm still going to have to farm them, but I can farm less, I guess. It's so easy in these Twilight Forest dimension dungeons. It's so easy to get lost because these places are massive. Like, if we poke our head out right now, like, we've come up that high. But look at that. We've still got a ways to go. And I think, actually, I want to say it goes up a little bit higher than that, like, off in that direction. So maybe we're about halfway, and I've got to go down now, so I've just lost, like, a lot of the ground that I just made. Let's see, we got Punch 2 book. Not terribly exciting. Punch 2 is, it's kind of like knockback. Like, I'm kind of on the fence about those enchantments. Enderbow with power. There's an Arctic jacket, which really isn't too hard to craft. It just requires some of that Arctic fur. It's fairly easy to farm up. So, actually in the consumables, you can see I made some mire scrambles, 27 of them. That was from the original batch of snails. I'm going to have to get more. But honestly, the mire scrambles is not something I'm eating all the time either. It'll probably be a lot of a blood magic food. So, which I am planning on making those runes here soon. I want to make those definitely before we get to age 3, just so they're out of the way. I hate having to craft runes, like coming to that point where it's like, well, gotta craft runes. So I like to get them done a little bit early if I can. I'm so lost in this place, like I couldn't tell you how to get back out, because I just keep going up. And there's like, there's rooms, and I tend to miss one, and then I come back through, and then I take it, and then I go up, and I don't know. Like, I'm so lost at the moment. I am so lost, but that's fine. There's a chest right here. These things are so easy to miss. Come on, mending. No, power 4. I don't need that. I have so many feathers. It's ridiculous. It was funny because when I was working on the bird feathers, like that weekend, I can't remember, what was it? I think it was Severe that said something about he needed something, and I said, or he had to do something, and I said I would do it if he would come build feathers for me. And he thought I was talking about bird feathers at first. And a couple people were that way. They're like, oh, you need bird feathers? I was like, no, I don't need bird feathers. I have hundreds of bird feathers. I definitely don't need bird feathers. I really wish the mobs would spawn in this place. Right now, by the way, I'm on the server with Damian Reeves, Sneaky Seraphim, and Extanos. And that 2 Asgard guy. Whoa! That one exploded. And we got pink terracotta. It exploded in like a rainbow of colors here. And turned all this into light gray stained glass. You can see down there where we came from. And then I think, let's see, let's actually break a little bit of this and step out. I think all the way up. I think that's the top where the boss is at. So this might be the right way. I think we missed like 1 or 2 directions. We actually haven't missed that many because I keep having to backtrack and I keep going back to them. But I do think we're probably on the right track to reach the boss at this point. I don't feel like it's as long of a dungeon as the Urgas. It doesn't have like the, you know, the tower puzzles, and actually doesn't have as much platforming either. There's a couple parts where you can platform, but a lot of them you're actually intended to just build up because there's no possible way. It's just a flat block that can't be platformed up. So, of course, climbing claws are quite handy. See, like right here, I mean, you wouldn't be able to platform up that. I mean, there's nothing for that. So, basically, if you don't have climbing claws or slime boots and long sword or something, you know, to that effect. These are stable ice cores. That one was an unstable. Was the reason it exploded. By the way. Just a ton of bows. So many bows. Okay, I believe right up there is going to be the boss. Should be. All that ice. And it's a good sign because the boss actually will break the floor while you're fighting her. I do believe that should be the boss. Hey, does this lead anywhere or no? Yes, it does. It's a covered room here. I feel like this birch, I feel like this place is slightly unfinished. Like that birch needs to be something else. I do believe. Honestly, the loot in here is not all that great. I occasionally get like an enchanted book. But generally it's just bows. Like, just loads of bows. And then, like, you know, some ironwood and stuff like that. So we got another ender bow with power 1. Nightly plate, which, I don't know. I don't really know why that's in here, but whatever, we'll take it. And then we've got this little area to explore before we go start the boss fight. We have Arctic leggings, Arctic hood, and all this stuff. Oh, what's that ice sword got on it? Light Pierce 3 and Venom. Okay, I really wish we got a disenchantment. I'm not for sure, you know, I haven't looked at the age 3 stuff, so I'm not for sure if we have some method for disenchanting. I don't think so. I know Cyraven checked it last night and said she didn't see anything, because I was curious about it. I mean, we're still, like, you know, like I said, about a week off from age 3, but I'm kind of getting curious as to what's in that age at this point. Okay, so the boss should be up here. Should be. Travel up this ice, and hopefully, yeah, that's all packed ice. It shouldn't melt, I don't think. Can you not, you might not actually be able to naturally go up this way. I think you have to clear it. Yeah, that's fine. And there's quite a few floors of this ice, actually. Okay, right up there is the boss. Right up there. And before we go up there, is there any consumables I want? I'm going to put an elixir of healing in my bags just to be on the safe side. And then I'm also going to put a elixir of strength and a swift arm brew. I don't know for sure that we're going to need it, but we'll hold on to it and see. A bow can be nice for this fight as well, but it's not really necessary in truth. Okay, so let's go up. And there we go, we got the Ice Queen. And you'll notice she flies around, and what she's going to do is she's going to smash the ground. She's almost like a Dr. Robotnik fight. If you played Sonic, is what she reminds me of, because she floats around in her little like ice thing, and then she will drop down, and you can only hurt her if you hit basically her head spot. I don't know why she's not really doing anything at this point. Maybe if we get underneath her. Ah. There we go. We can lunge, so there's that. Okay. You're gonna... Yeah, she's gonna drop, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe she's not. Oh, there we go. Did she go down? Oh, no, there she is. And she's going to smash the ground, and that's your time to really hit her. You know, if you're meleeing, you can range in this fight, and I think that's a lot of the reason there's a lot of bows around, is because you can range her down. And technically, I'll show you a little trick, because we've already got her at half health, but one thing that we can do, in fact, is the Ring of Ascension. If we equip this, we can actually go up, you know, to about her level, and you can hit her between her legs right there. Like, oh, and she's going to drop solar cores. But the Ring of Ascension is actually just enough flight that you can get up in there and damage her pretty easily. But I am going to unequip that ring because I'd rather have my slime boots. I feel like it's actually a little bit faster this way. And there we go. We got the Clear Skies advancement and a bunch of snow and particles. And the idea is that she's going to smash the floor and keep going down layers normally, if the fight is extended anyways. Okay, so we got the Snow Queen trophy and an Epic Shader grab bag. Does she not drop like a chest of any sort? Is that really a thing? All she drops is the trophy and the grab bag and some snowballs? Yeah, I guess she didn't drop a chest. I'd never noticed before, I guess, because normally when you come to the Twilight Forest, they stick it in packs, and you have like flight and super swords and, you know, insta-kill everything, and, you know, it's just not really a challenge, and you're not that concerned about the loot. And this is what the top of it looks like. Poor penguin. He's just stuck. And this is what it looks like from the very top of the Ice Queen's Palace. So, as you can tell, I mean, it's not as difficult of a dungeon. I don't feel like it's the Arghast. I think it's highly unfinished. I think it's a lot of the problem. So, I think the pretty much from the ice stuff onwards is very unfinished. And honestly, I mean, we're done with bosses. That's the last of the bosses, basically. But anyways, if we take a look at the advancements, we have defeated Snow Queen atop the Aurora Palace, clearing away the acid rain from the highlands. So next up, we have to go get the Lamp of Cinders in the Troll Caves. So we have to set out and look for that place. This is super fall. I actually forgot to show you guys the fall after the Arghast Tower, but it's pretty much like that fall. It's a little bit further because it's a little bit lower, I think, to the treetops, maybe? Actually, it might be about the same, in fact. So, but anyways, we need to go find ourselves a highland area, which is characterized by a lot of thorns. There will be a bunch of thorns once we find it. Okay, I found the biome that we're looking for. You can see it's got all this, like, is that Podzol? Yeah, Podzol. It's kind of steep cliffs, and this is the area that we're looking for. I believe that might be the castle loading in up there, possibly. I guess we'll find out whenever we get up here, but yeah, that's the... well, it's a castle or it's a sky island. One or the other. I think it's the sky island, actually. Okay, so we're going to be looking for ourselves a troll cave. And generally, the best thing to do is run around the edges of the mountains. And there's usually, once again, there's like 3 of them per biome. But sometimes these are a little bit harder to find in my experience. The best thing to do, actually, if I recall correctly, is... Wow, there's part of the castle that has grown down. It's a tower, and you can see it's covered in thorns. And these are the castle bricks that I want, and the blue castle rune bricks. Like, these things are beautiful. There's a lot of really great building blocks within the castle. I love this castle brick, and it's a great way to basically craft a ton, or get a ton of like these really nice white color blocks with a lot of colors that go hand in hand with them. You have like the brick tiles here, the floor tiles. You have the different colored runes. You have the doors, and there's also force field blocks as well up there. Now right here, there's Trollstein. I don't think this thing didn't have a use in the past. Chances are it probably still does not have a use. No, it does not. So no real use in Trollstein at the moment. But I guess if you want to build with it, and there's also Trollber. Anyways, I'm going to pop down here, and we're going to run around the edge of this, because generally you can... well, I don't want to touch that. Generally, you can spot a troll cave from, the bottom section. They're a little bit easier to spot. Actually, right here is a troll cave. I do believe. Should be. Right. Yes. This is a troll cave. You can see we have some, like, basalt little structures there and everything rising up out of the ground. And what we're after, somewhere inside of here, there's always like giant mushrooms and things. Normally there are some mobs that spawn, nothing too elaborate. We do have these huge mushglooms, and I think, yeah, you have to have a silk touch pick if you want to pick them up. But mushgloom is a glowing mushroom, so you can use it as lighting. But this is one of the things that we're looking for right here, this giant obsidian. But then we also need to find a chest in here. Right here. This little basalt structure. We'll just clear this out. And inside this chest, we have some magic beans and uberous soil, which is what we're after. And then the rest of the stuff, we'll just leave all of that. Actually, I guess I should grab the brown mushrooms because I eat those. Okay, so that's really what we came in here for at the moment. That's really it. We are going to come back into here in just a minute once we use our magic beans, but for right now, we are all set. So what we're going to do is we are going to climb up. We're just going to go right above it, and those sky islands, that's what we're trying to reach. We have to play Jack and the Giant Beanstalk here. Okay, so that right up there, that's what we're aiming for. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our uberous soil. I don't know why I keep this thing on me, because it's not doing anything. And we're going to place down our uberous soil and then put our magic bean right there. And it's going to create a magic beanstalk. And it does drop a huge stalk block that you can pick up and use, and it actually looks kind of cool. I'll probably end up harvesting some of this as well. The Twilight Forest is great for like materials. It's definitely not my favorite dimension for like exploration. It's cool. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of bosses, but not like new mechanics or anything. Just crazy exciting. Plus, it's been unfinished for a couple of years now. Waiting on that last boss. I cannot wait though. Whenever it does hit, it's going to be exciting. Okay, I'm a little bit off where I placed the soil, but we should be able to just make it just fine. So anyways, over here there are giant Asgards. You can see they're called armored giants, and we're gonna have to kill these guys. And they do hit decently hard, I guess, but our armor's like way too good, and we can kill them. And they drop giant tools. So we have the giant sword. And this thing, like, look at this. Biggest sword in history. Let's actually use it to kill these guys. There's 3 of them. These guys are just miners. Yeah, I feel like my Prismarine sword might be better, maybe. Yeah, it's definitely better. And the giant miners drop giant pickaxes. And once again, these things are massive. And that's what we came here for, because that giant obsidian down in the troll cave, we're going to have to use this to mine up that giant obsidian. And you know what? I'm going to take these rock crystals. And I want to say, can we not... I think we might be able to get wispy clouds if we use silk touch, maybe? I want to say there's a way to get those. Yeah. Wispy clouds. There we go. So we might use some of those as well. I don't know for sure, but maybe add ourselves like a little area in the sky or something. Who knows? Who knows? And you know, something I've never tried is taking magic beans into the old world with Uberous soil to see if they would plant. That would actually be kind of cool. Just have like a random beanstalk like somewhere. I might consider that. I might test around with it. Okay, so anyways, giant pickaxe on the giant obsidian. It does take a while. It's funny because it's a stone pick, and of course there's no way you're going to be mining obsidian, of course, with a stone pick. But anyways, 90%. Here we go, and there we go. We've gotten inside of this thing, and it drops giant obsidian blocks that you can place down and have like big chunks of obsidian if you want. But anyways, inside this chest we have Trollstein, coal, torchberries, and the lamp of cinders. I wish for more burning advancement. And that is what we came here for. That is pretty much, I mean, we're pretty much done with, aside from just collecting materials, we're pretty much done with Twilight Forest at this point. And then clean up. I mean, I'm not done with it, because I've still got a lot of material gathering and then clean up advancement stuff. But, I mean, as far as like progression, I mean, we're pretty much done at this point. So if we pop up here, there is one more advancement. Subcastle, very wow. And make it past the Thornlands. Okay. So basically we have to use this to make it past the thorns and go unlock the castle door. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our lamp of cinders over, and we'll start, I don't know, maybe, let's see, we'll go right up here. There's the castle off in the distance. The thing is massive. Like, I really wish it was implemented. It's massive. But what we can do is we can hold right click with this and then charge it up and then release, and look at that. It turns the thorns into burnt thorns that break instantly. Basically, we just have to clear our way through this stuff. But if you have flight, you can fly over it. I will say, I mean, we're not terribly far from getting flight. Don't believe. I have to look into it. I wasn't too concerned with it until after we finished our exploration of Twilight Forest and Between Lands, because I felt like flight would kind of ruin a lot of that. But now that we're kind of wrapping down the exploration, we do have some Abyssalcraft stuff coming up, but honestly, for that boss, I don't mind using flight. That boss is pretty insane. That first boss. But... And technically, I mean, you can break through these thorns, but watch what happens whenever you do. Just in case you're curious, you can mine this stuff. But it just comes right back with green thorns. So, which this is a reference to Sleeping Beauty. Like the original story of it, where there's like the thorns that are around the castle. A lot of fairy tale references and mythology references and stuff like that. Within... Oh, you can actually walk through these. I forgot about that. You can just walk right through the thorns. The thorns will hurt you if you touch them, but we're just kind of burning our way through it at the moment. We should be... Yeah, right here's the castle. Now we just have to find the entrance proper at this point. That's fine. We'll go up this way. And that right there, I believe this is where the door is, if I recall. This one is this castle is massive. It's bigger than any castle I've seen thus far, which makes me happy. I mean, there's enough blocks here you could build a civilization. So you're not gonna run out of blocks at all. Like if you ran a quarry through here, like it would be done. Okay, so right here is the door, I think. Is this the door? Pink Castle door? Yeah, right click it with the lamp of cinders, and we did not get the advancement though, strangely enough. Why are you bugged? This is the door of the castle. Anyways, look at this. Like, I'm going to be using so many of these blocks. It's going to be so good. These pillars, man, they take so long to break, though. So anyways, these rooms, they're all empty. Even though there's no mobs spawning in the pack, a lot of times it's not that. There's just nothing that spawns in here, like, at all. It's all empty rooms, and you can, like, come up to the top of this. It's a little bit more detailed than it was in the past, but it's still just, you know, empty rooms. There are some cool rooms throughout here. There's, like, rooms with, like... I'm assuming, unless things have changed, there's rooms that are, like, filled with, like, force fields. And I would like to find some of those so I can show them to you. There's like just a couple main rooms I want to find in here, which that is the main boss area, which I'm probably just going to jump over to it. It's like the final boss, I guess, or at least at the moment, it's supposed to be the final boss. But if we scale over to here, this is the final boss. So you kind of work your way up through like the maze of castle. And I mean, this castle is, like I said, it's a monster. This is going to be longer than the Urgas dungeon. And then there's the Violet Force Fields, and you can not break them. Normally you can break them, though. Yeah, see, this is one of the rooms that has like a bunch of force fields and stuff. And then you have like stairs that go down, and they lead to like a basement. A lot of times there's like a ton of force field rooms down here. Not for sure what this is going to be. It looks like, it almost feels like some kind of like, you know, dungeon. Like mob dungeon or something, I don't know. But this is those rooms. And I'm sure, yeah, see, I still can't break those. Used to, you're able to break the force fields, but we're not able to for some reason. But anyways, these dungeons are just filled up with stuff. And I don't know if the advancements have anything to do with it, or if the force fields are just not breakable. Which is kind of sad, because these things are awesome for building. But at least we have the different runes and stuff like that, different colors. Because right now there's violet, yellow, blue, and pink runes. That we'll be able to clear out and use for our building. Here's another really cool room. This is like one of the main like plaza rooms, basically. And it's just, you know, the scale. I love the scale. Like, this is like the scale. This is actually a better scale, like what I would like to build in. I just never have the bravery to do that. Maybe one day. I mean, my builds have gotten bigger, so I'm hoping that one day I'll build on a scale like this. And I don't know. These castles are so good. Of course, building this is a little bit more involved than like procedurally generated. But one day I plan to build like this castle. But anyways, if you come over to here, we take a look. It says final boss here, you win. What it says. Because this is the location of the final boss. It's too bad I can't get the advancements to pop. Which, I mean, the one here, what could even be in that castle? It doesn't even feel like make it past the Thornlands and unlock the door of the castle. It says we've finished one of the steps, and I'm pretty sure it's make it past the Thornlands that we have finished. Okay, we're back in the overworld now, and the next thing that we need to do, because I couldn't get those two to unlock, from what I could tell, looking online, I don't think either of those are unlockable at the moment. And still not sure why we didn't get something strange in Towerwood, but I don't know. But anyways, before we can make the advanced mapping, we need to make the extended crafting table. The basic crafting table from Extended Crafting. So this requires some crafting tables, blocks of iron, and then it's also going to require these basic crafting components, which are stardust, iron rods, black iron slate. Now this stuff is a combination of crushed black quartz and iron. So we are going to have to crush up some black quartz. I'm going to go run it through the millstone. Altogether we need 10 pieces of it. We need 10 of that black iron ingots. Oh, it has to be the ore. Oh. Huh. Okay, so I'm going to have to go get the ore. By the way, when I moved my Beneath teleporter, it did move, you know, our spawn location, but I do have something set up here. I don't know if I ever showed it to you guys. Basically, I have a little room here, and this actually connects back to our main spawn chamber. It's just a little tunnel, and then I've got this here, so I can just drop down. And see, right over here is where we were before. Makes it a little bit faster to get down here to do some mining. See, in the Beneath, the mobs are spawning. But for whatever reason, the Twilight Forest, the hunting dimension... Okay, and our black quartz is done. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw in 10 iron and 10 crushed black quartz. That's going to start running together, and it's going to make our black iron ingots from Extended Crafting. And then we can make the basic crafting table. You can see it's required to craft the journeymap token. Okay, so while that's working up, we've got everything else for the table. The journeymap token. Okay, we're going to need 2 charms of keeping. and this is actually really exciting because this stuff took a little while to build up, especially that right there. That was the big thing. So we're going to need a Ring of Ascension, 2 Charms of Keeping, Lamp of Cinders. We are also going to need an Alfa Yeti fur, which I did kill another Yeti, by the way. I ran across a cave. I mean, that same little snow area, so I killed a second one. And then, in addition, we are going to need to get ourselves... That's pretty much all of that. We're going to need to get ourselves an empty map, which is just paper. Maze map focus, a blank magic map, and then an additional maze or magic map focus, which is all pretty straightforward. We have all that paper from the Minotaur dungeons, and this is a great time to use it. Okay, so maze map focus, and let's see, and then for the gonna need 2 fireflies, 2 torchberries, and 2 raven's feathers, which I've got all that stuff you know, around here. I think I've got enough raven's feathers. I might actually have to go get more. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I've only got 1 raven's feather. Okay, I've got to pop back into the Twilight Forest once more, but this is like the last time. And then I think we've got everything else on us that we need to make all of this. And luckily, out of all the things that we could possibly be missing for this, it's like the easiest thing. I mean, ravens are fairly common. I don't know why I have raven's feathers in a drawer. I'm probably actually going to pull those out because it's not really needed. Actually, I've got one in the drawer. I'll just go pull that out because I don't think, after this point, I don't think there's any more use, really, that comes to mind in raven's feathers. I mean, I can make more maze maps, or not maze maps, but I'm lost. But I mean, technically, I can make more magic maps and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, they're easy enough to farm up. I'm not going to worry about keeping a stockpile. There's really no reason to having a drawer. I was putting mob items in there, and I just put it there, you know, without thinking, basically. I mean, there's a couple things in drawers that'll probably eventually get pulled out. I still have not made a drawer key. I know it's crazy. Normally, a drawer key is like one of the first things I make. I just haven't. I haven't done it yet, and I mean, I don't have a drawer controller, and I think that's a lot of the reason I haven't worried too much about it, because, you know, I'm manually doing pretty much everything anyways, so. Okay, so we got the raven's feathers that we need, and we'll combine those with the fireflies and the torchberries, and we'll get our 2 magic map focuses. One of these becomes a magic map, and one of these, or this paper, does this not work? Do I have to use the compass? I'm thinking I do, maybe? Yeah, because that's not pulling up a recipe. Well, it just so happens I made a compass before and I'm not planning on using it. Especially now that we're about to have journey map. We definitely don't need the compass. So the compass that we made, what was it, last episode? Yeah, last episode. We don't need it. So there's our empty map. That's pretty much everything that we need. Okay, now for the basic crafting table. First up, the blank iron slates. We're going to have to run all these through a stone anvil and turn them into black iron, except for one of them, because this one does require a black iron ingot in the center. So 9 of those we're going to have to run through. Let me get... My hammer broke, so I'm going to need another one. Actually, while I was prepping stuff for this, my anvil broke again. Thing breaks all the time. Okay, so here we go. The basic crafting table. The black iron slate. We're going to need 8 of these basic crafting components altogether. So there's 8 of those. Easy as pie. And then we're going to need this catalyst, which is where that last ingot went. And then there is our basic crafting table. Done. Extended crafting iron. And this is basically just another crafting table. It's not really like an extended crafting table, to say the least. And then we can make our journey map token from extra planets. And eat this. Pow. Big things happen. We got 100 prestige points and we got advanced mapping. Okay, so now this atlas, we can lose this thing because we do not need it. Okay, and then we can, now that we've got that, look at that. All that's left in this age is the market, the weirdest gadgets, and the training with coal, which moves us to the next age. And then we still have to do strainers. That's probably going to be like next episode, I'm thinking. And let's see, if we hit J, I need to remove my death waypoints because they kind of build up. It does map everything. Twilight Forest, those 2, the Beneath, between lands. I didn't die that many times. All in all, I don't think. I think we did all right. But then, in addition, I want to do some options here. Okay, I got our mini-map set up. Change it over to a circle and set up my hotkeys and stuff and set up my preferences and all that. So we have our journey map. And if we take a look here, you can see... Like, this is going to be interesting because we can see exactly where all we've been throughout our journeys. So, and I've got to set like waypoints and all that stuff. Down there is Damien. So yeah, and then we can actually see our base from a sky view, which is kind of cool. It's definitely coming along. And just if you're curious, just in case you're curious, if you want to see where all I've been in the Between Lands, I'm really happy that it saves all your mapping and stuff. You know, it maps it as you go, and then whenever you get journey map, you know, you have access to all this stuff. I just went to Twilight Forest. Whoops. Okay, but if you're curious to see... Oh, my decay is horrible, and I don't have any jello on me. But if you're curious to see the Between Lands map of where all I've been, I wish I could zoom out more. Like, look at this. It's just like the biggest web of a mess. Like, see how far north I've been? It just goes everywhere. Like, I wish I could zoom out more, because you can't really get an idea of how far I've actually been within the Between Lands from this. But it's been all over the place. Like, you'll notice, like, south, I didn't go very south. Yeah, see, I'm right there. And we did that initial south little thing. But then I tried to stick to more the north. And then this was pretty early on, before Wega joined. But yeah, I've mainly been exploring, like, north, a little bit northeast and northwest. I mean, it's just huge trails that I've ran. I mean, I have explored so much of the Between Lands. Like, I really wish I could zoom out more than this, because this... it's just so much exploration. Like, let's see, that is 1,165, negative 9,310. And you can see I am at Y135. So I went over 9,000 blocks north. I'm in the Between Lands, not to mention just pathways all over the place. Strange I never hit this little area right here. I actually think it's water. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I have no clue. But the Between Lands looks really weird in Journey Map. But yeah, I spent a massive amount of time. Like, probably days worth of playtime in the Between Lands. Like, it's been great. But it's honestly what was required to get 2 Rings of Ascent. Honestly, to get 1 Ring of Ascent took a ton of time and a ton of exploration. So... anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode. We now have Journey Map, which I'm super, super excited about. You do unlock it naturally, but you have to go all the way to age 4, and it's really not that bad. The Ring of Ascent being probably the worst thing for unlocking it, honestly. The rest of it really is easy. It's super easy, but the Ring of Ascent is a grind. I mean, I've got enough Charms of Keeping to make, like, I think 3 or 4 more Charm of Keeping 3s. Yeah, I've got 38 Charm of Keeping 1s. And that's assuming, well, actually, I know I've got more, 5 more right here. So, yeah, I mean, I've nearly got enough to make 5 more, and I'll be able to make 4 Charm of Keeping 3s, in addition to the 2 that I've already made. I mean, and I'm probably going to end up using them because they do keep your inventory when you die. Charm of Life would have been a bit more of a grind, but Charm of Keeping is not that bad. I mean, Charm of Life, I think I've only gotten a couple of those. They only drop from the higher tier dungeons. I mean, you can see a Charm of Life 1 right there. Just 1 of them in that chest. And then I've got 2 right there. So I don't even have enough to make 1 Charm of Life 2. But luckily, that's the highest rank it goes. It's Charm of Life 2. But that still would have been a bit more of a grind than the Charm of Keeping. That was easy. But anyways, next episode. Next episode, our objectives... Our primary objective next episode, I think, is going to be cleanup. Namely, the Twilight Forest cleanup, because there's a couple advancements here we can knock out. It's not going to take very long. I do definitely want to show you guys the questing ram. Eating all the food. We might... Well, we're only missing 3 pieces of food, actually. Apparently, from Twilight Forest. Which is probably deer meat. Maybe? Eat all the food exclusive to Twilight... I don't know. I'll have to look and see... what it could be that we're missing. And then this one we might not get. I may get it eventually if I do another Urgas Tower. Only if I go really far north to where no one's ever going to touch Will I do that though? Because I don't want anybody else to enter a tower and it not have, you know, Arghast in it. But most of this stuff is pretty quick. So we'll knock that out, and then I want to get the market, and I want to get chunk loaders, start getting those. And then I also want to get strainers up and going. Because I'd like to get us all cleared out. I mean, the Between Lands is done. Get us all cleared out before we enter H3. Honestly, this is H2. There's, aside from cleanup, there's 2 other major projects that we're going to be doing before we enter H3. And that is a little bit of Abyssalcraft and then a bit of Astral Sorcery. There's a lot of really good Astral Sorcery stuff that I was holding out on, kind of, until we finished our Between Lands and Twilight Forest progression, because that stuff is a little bit OP. Which I know the same can be said about Between Lands, but... even still, the bosses in Twilight Forest are not difficult. If you just have some decent armor and a sword, I mean, like the Snow Queen and stuff, I didn't even use potions on that. The Knights, I stopped using potions on. The Arghast can be done without potions, it just takes a little bit longer. It's not a hard fight. And then, the Hydra, which I showed you how to do that without any potions and stuff, so it's really not that bad, in truth. But the Astral Sorcery stuff, some of that stuff is really OP. Astral Sorcery is a very OP mod. Not quite Draconic Evolution level, but closing in on Draconic Evolution level. So I was wanting to hold out on that. After this age, though, we do have some Abyssalcraft dimensions as we progress. But aside from that, most of our dimension exploration is, for the most part, done. I mean, H3, we have the Nether. H4, we have the End. H5, I think, is Galacticraft, which is... Galacticraft is pretty dull. I mean, there is extra planets, which makes it even more dull. It doesn't really add a lot of, like... It's fun if you go there to build and collect blocks, but that's about it, because it's really rinse and repeat as you go through the planets. I don't know. There might be some additional features within this version. I'm not 100% sure, but generally, Galacticraft is not super exciting. We'll try to make it interesting and... probably edit a lot of it once we reach that point, but we're a long ways from that, so. That's space age, and we're still, like, medieval age, you know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay up to date with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.